Today I'm going to show you how to make the shaker card, and you're going to need cardstock, any color, white cardstock, and your designer paper. And your white cardstock, you're going to put it through the embossing folder through your Big Shot. And so just the one that I'm using is the Perfect Polka Dots, and it measures 5¼ by 4. So right now I'm going to put it through my Big Shot, Big Shot, and I'll be right back. There it is. There is my perfect polka dot and whispery white cardstock. Now I'm just going to place it on top of my uh, Island Indigo that measures 4¼ by 11, and I'm just checking on my designer paper that measures 5 by 3¾ and just check how it will look all three together. Now I'm going to use my framelit, my circle framelit, and this one is number 6 from the middle, and I'm just going to use my awesome magnet platform that my husband just got it for me for our anniversary. I'm just going to put it through that Big Shot and be right back. Now here's my perfect scope in the middle where I want it, and now I'm just going to grab a window sheet, measures 3¾ by 3¾ and I'm just going to put adhesive all the way around my designer paper, and then I'm just going to put my window sheet on top. Now that my window sheet is in place, I'm gonna use the Stand Up shaker frame to give some dimension on my shaker. I'm just gonna grab one of the circles and cut it in half and place it all the way around my circle without leaving any open areas where my sequence can get out. So I noticed that if I cut my circle in half, I can have a better way to move it around, and so I can form the circle that I want for my shaker. Now I'm just finishing up. I'm just putting a little bit more of dimension on my designer paper just to give it a little bit more support when I place it on top of my white cardstock. Now I'm using Tombow to adhere it to my white cardstock on my Island Indigo cardstock. And the reason why I'm using Tombow instead of snail is because my paper has some texture, and Tombow works very good when you have some texture on your paper, and it works a lot better than the snail, because I think it's because it gets on those cracks and those deep areas from your embossing, the embossing that you've done before. So now I just gonna I use my designer paper to see where I need to put my sequence, and I'm just gonna put some of my sequence in the middle where they're supposed to be. And these are the in colors sequence. You can put any sequence you have. I really like this one because it has circles and hearts and stars, so it's a good variation, and the in colors are really cute too. Now I'm just finishing up taking the back of my shakers frames, and after this I'm just gonna place it on top of my white cardstock. One thing that you need to remember is when you place it on top, you need to put some pressure and make sure that all that circle area is well adhered to your paper. If you shake it before you do this, you're going to end up with some sequence and stuck in around your circle, and it's not going to shake. Believe me, I did it before, and that's what happened. Now I'm going to use my flower patch and stamp set. It's a really cool stamp set. I'm going to make another video with this, and I'm going to show you all the flowers that I stamped and cut but just let me show you that a trick. Use your, I don't know how to say it, but it's a Polinari, I don't know. It's this clear, really clear and stamp set that you need your pierce mat so you can get a nice crisp look on your stamp. If you see on the paper on the side, you can see that it didn't stamp that clear, but when I do it on top of my pierce mat, you can tell the difference in between those two. Now, these are the other ones that I made. Is the first time that I used this stamp set, so I was playing around. And the awesome part of this stamp set is that comes with matching fretlets. So I love that because that means that I don't have to cut one by one. So I'm just gonna use my magnet platform, and I'm gonna place all those framelets on top so I can put it through my Big Shot and cut it. And now I made more flowers because some didn't like how they turned and some wanted to add a different. So at the end I used kind of like different flowers, and you will see in the card. Okay, now I'm just playing around with my flowers to see if I need to stamp more. I brought back my shaker, and I'm just gonna play around and place all these flowers on my shaker. And this is actually the first time that I designed this card, so I didn't know where to put my flowers. But here's a close-up picture, and I put some rhinestone on top of my flowers too. Now I decide to put a sentimental inside my card, and this one says, "You overwhelm me with your awesomeness." I think it's really cute. Here's a little tip for your this kind of stamp. I use my paper just to align it so it looks straight, and then I put my block on top. The reason why I did this way is because with this kind of stamp you can actually move it around, shape it the way you want it. But this time I want to make sure that it goes straight. Now, and because it's the first time using this stamp set, I'm just gonna I stamp it on my paper just to make sure that I get all the yucky stuff out of my stamp before I stamp it on my paper. Now I'm just using my pierce mat again so I can give them some cushion to my stamp, and you will see how it looks. Very pretty. I love the way how it looks. Now I decide to put some flowers inside next to my sentimental. So I'm gonna use this technique that I do not remember the name, but here you go. You tap your flower or your stamp on your ink pad, then you stamp it on a regular paper, and then before you don't put it again in your stamp pad, you just stamp it on top of your white cardstock on your paper. So you do this way so you can get the same color that you've been using, but a lighter touch. And then the reason why I did this is because I wanted to stamp something on top with the same color. You see how a little stamp. I'm just gonna go tap in my ink pad and then place it on my paper on top of my flower. You see? Very cute. Now I stamp on other flowers and I put a rhinestone on top too. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye.